deg her at hver en morgen er du der. Tenk så tilfeldig det var, og hvilke følger det har. En annen kveld, en annen bar, kunne gitt andre svar. Men nå kan det gå både dager og år. Kom vinter og kom vår. For dette er vi gode på. Dette er vi gode på. Dette er vi gode på. Og hvem vet hva som vil skje? Om 10 år er vi et annet sted. Og det er kanskje ikke like lett da det kan skje. For tenk så tilfeldig det er, hvilken dag som kommer i hva slags vær. Hvem vi blir er umulig å si. Men for nå er jeg klar, for jeg vet hva jeg har, hvor jeg vil, hvor jeg kommer fra. Dette er vi gode på. Dette er vi gode på. Dette er vi gode på. For dette er vi gode på. 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 Dette er vi gode på.
Just take 3 seconds.
not stop supporting the workers, these amazing people who support us daily.
You can sit back and complain, or you can step up
You will not start hitting for this little piggy.
Good morning, and thank you for joining us. The Board of Trustees and the faculty of Bennington College are assembled here, virtually, today to give formal voice to the awarding of degrees to the 85th graduating class. This assembly provides a fitting occasion to reaffirm the principles of this remarkable college. I want to begin by reading to you our traditional commencement statement. Bennington regards education as a sensual and ethical, no less than an intellectual process. It seeks to liberate and nurture the individuality, the creative intelligence, and the ethical and aesthetic sensibility of its students, to the end that their richly varied natural endowments will be directed toward self-fulfillment and toward constructive social purposes. We believe that these educational goals are best served by demanding of our students active participation in the planning of their own programs and in the regulation of their own lives on campus. Student freedom is not the absence of restraint, however. It is rather the fullest possible substitution of habits of self-restraint for restraint imposed by others. The exercise of student freedom is the very condition of a meaningful education and an essential aspect of the nurture of free citizens, dedicated to civilized values and capable of creative and constructive membership in modern society. The degrees we are about to award certify that these students have successfully met the standards of quality in academic achievement and of responsibility in citizenship set by the college. The extent to which they have fulfilled the college's other important aims cannot be formally certified, but the degrees do indeed express our confidence that they have understood our ideals and that they will do credit to themselves and to their communities. At Bennington, the award of the degree means at least one other thing. Education here is a reciprocal affair. We who are charged with the instruction and educational policy have received as well as given. We have learned from these students as well as taught and counseled them. The conferring of the degree is thus an acknowledgement of the contributions to ourselves personally and to the college which these students have made. We shall continue to follow these students with interest and affection as they take their roles in other communities. To those communities, we confidently recommend them. At Bennington, we shall miss them. And now, members of the graduating class, faculty, staff, families, and friends, I am honored to introduce to you a member of our distinguished faculty to address the community. It is my pleasure to introduce Phillip B. Williams, who teaches literature.
Thank you to Bennington College faculty, staff, students, and students' parents for offering your time and patience during this tumultuous period. I want to also thank Isabel Roche and John Bullock for their leadership and care. To the class of 2020, I started my journey with a lot of you as a visiting professor in 2016. In my own way, I was a freshman here and have watched you all grow into phenomenal scholars and people of mind, body, and soul. I hope that I too have grown in the cascade of your seeing me and have grown into an educator of whom you can be proud. Thank you for pushing me to grow and allowing me to do the same for you. I congratulate you on a job well done, on having stayed the course until its completion, despite challenges, doubts, and interruptions to your safety. You have experienced an education unlike any other in the nation. And though you may not realize it, the level of care you received here is unique and will not be replicated outside of these hallowed fields of Bennington's campus. There will be no visitation of deer by your favorite place to practice the flute, no unicyclist dressed as Abraham Lincoln making wild proclamations just outside your door, and no endless office hours with your favorite exhausted professors. Once you graduate, what we sometimes mistakenly call the real world will take the lead. But the real world began the moment you were born. And once you were born, every joy and kindness imaginable had become possible for you to experience. If anything, Bennington helped you reckon with smaller versions of your future mistakes. You were allowed to witness evil, but not too much. You were forced to concede to versions of yourself that, given time, you were able to reconsider. Deem it fortuitous that this practice had been offered to you, to be able to make mistakes with limited risk. Once you go to wherever welcomes you, with the hopes that it will continue to welcome you, or at least pretend, you must guard yourself without hiding yourself and expect nothing that you demand. You may protest that you be respected, yet never receive it. Do not waste your time with people who will not respect you. You may believe you have earned the love of another, but forever dwell in the realm of the unrequited. Do not wait for them to realize their mistake. It will take them too long, and by then you can find another lover, a true love. You may have worked hard in all things career, but still find it difficult to afford basic human needs. Do not stop believing you deserve to have those needs met. These things may happen not because the world is cruel, though it often is, and sometimes that will be the case, but more so because the world and its inhabitants can be indifferent, which is something else altogether. Often indifference is mistaken as cruelty, but cruelty is active, so much so that it can be mistaken for something else, love perhaps. Indifference, however, can never be mistaken for love, and even those who use indifference as a tool to break you down will eventually have to pay attention to you for their indifference to manifest in abusive ways. What I am telling you then is that you must be ready to no longer be considered special or to receive particular attention to your needs. You will have to prove your self-worth perpetually, not just to others, but to yourself. You must learn to supply your own needs and trust me when I say you are prepared to take care of yourself, to be gracious with yourself, and to love yourself intensely. This may seem daunting, frightening even, but remember that proving yourself to yourself is nothing but an endless source of self-love. Speaking of what frightens, fear is not always an obstacle. We experience this emotion for a reason. When you stand before your peers to perform in a play, or to sing your favorite song, or to share the calculation you discovered that relieved you from your misunderstanding of inertia or some unbalanced equation, when a part of ourselves must be shared with someone else, many of us feel fear. And this is because fear is derived from care. It is meant to be an origin point toward maintenance. Fear means for us to take notice, to recognize that there is an issue that requires our intense focus, that something is wrong and needs to be changed. But so often we allow fear to plagiarize care, to append it and take care's identity as its own. Where fear says we must move toward care of self and of one another, we choose instead anger, neglect, punishment, shame, insecurity, denial, escapism. Why in times of our greatest need do we decide that it is not healthful consideration that we need, but destruction and ambivalence of our own gifts to turn that fear into something ambitious and radically nested in love? I think often of my childhood and the time I was caught in a crossfire on my way home from school, walking with a friend, Derek, and my uncle, Greg, who took us to school and picked us up every day. I described the situation as quicker than it should have been. You would think losing your life would move at a glacial speed. When what sounded like a car backfiring turned into my uncle saying, "Get down," while the sounds of bullets ricocheting from a nearby fence chimed like metal bells. Perhaps, yes, that became our church, a call to service, the proximity of God drawing nearer. And I share this moment with you because not too soon after did we run through a gangway into an empty lot where a house used to be, and laughed. We survived. We had felt fear and defied it. We were forever imprinted upon by that moment. What you have experienced that has planted a seed in you that if it blooms to its fullest capacity can undo you experienced for a reason. What during your tenure at Bennington College put unshakable fear in you? Something else about fear that I find interesting is it seems always attached to lack, to loss, to the idea that something or someone will leave us behind, perhaps already has. Whom have you lost in your time on this campus? What have you lost? Yourself? A friend? A lover perhaps, who said they would never leave, not knowing their future had prepared for them this lie from the very beginning? Someone at home who in their absence has permanently redefined what home is and could ever be? We can say now with honesty that may feel caustic that we have lost the school we were promised because of a pandemic. How and where we began years ago no longer exists. Is that harm or inconvenience? For whom? When does change ever promise to comfort us as it transforms us? You will see many people trying their best and falling short. You will get a chance to be one of those people. When have you fallen short and had only that failure acknowledged, despite the many miles you have crossed on your way? Believe me when I say I have seen you on this journey and see you beyond your failures, your falling. Not despite, because those failures and those falls have been very important to who you are becoming, very important to how you navigate the future self that is so very important to you. How is the loss more complicated than just someone or something you cherished going away? There is a depth to loss. It stays in our bodies for years and therefore converses with space and time, transcends it even. It is defiant, but is also, in its purest form, necessary change. I would like for you all to think about fear as a catalyst for change that involves reconsidering how you approach and process losing what is important to you. This is not easy. It requires therapy, recognition of traumas, and a community of healers both living and dead, which is where all this time I have been trying to arrive. I mean, to speak to you about death. My uncle, who saved my life with a command to duck from the invisible paths of bullets, is dead. He died years ago of natural causes. He was a Gemini, a neighborhood custodian, and a gay black man whose femininity I overlooked as a child, though I never felt ashamed of him, not really. I just didn't know how to see the feminine in him as dangerous, and it was danger that I remembered best. So count it a blessing. I learned later how to see him whole when it was too late to matter, I thought, and when my own proclivities toward femininity had become too exhausting to hide, though all my life I had hid them in order to exist. But don't you know that existing is and was merely partial? I am not suggesting that I should have risked my life in my neighborhood then, but I am also not suggesting that the life I am living now is as whole as it could have been had I been myself and perhaps endured. We make choices every day as to how we want to live versus how we fight to exist. The difference being how we activate our lives in particular ways to engage our skills and interests versus how we manage to not die. I write as a form of living. I eat food and continue to exist. And I wonder how many versions of me have died in the wake of my choosing to exist, which was a need, versus choosing to live, which at the time I felt was a privilege. This is the failure of fear, and failure is not something to feel ashamed of. I had to come to terms with my uncle's death much later in life when it became clear to me that I let him die a newfound stranger to me. And now that he has become an ancestor, I can reconcile my missing him with my awareness that he is still here. I believe in the presence and powers of ancestors, and not in that respectable grandmama made so many sacrifices for us so that we could achieve X, Y, and Z kind of way. I have never ill-imagined my people in such a way where their own complexities kneel to my political and social agendas, or some juvenile need to be seen as a morally upstanding human. Some of my ancestors were cruel and dangerous. They were inimitable in life and remain so in death. And it is through them that I learned to forgive myself for being afraid and to push myself toward care whenever I can. I want you all to consider your bodies in this moment because we have all been denied access to intimacy of the flesh, and that too is a form of care. The minor propulsions of being in a checkout line, the nudges from behind on a train thundering through corridors of concrete toward countless predestinations. I want you to recall the times your body has proven to you that you are a person meant to connect to other people. You lose your imaginations when you lose each other. So first, you must recognize you have a body that requires care. You must pay attention to your body when you are afraid because it will tell you what parts of you need attention. And you must look at what you have lost as a path toward the new life you will gain if you treat each loss with reverence and awe. As students, you have had the privilege of learning a lesson every moment you breathe. And I am here to tell you that it is breath itself that will have you honorably remain a student for the rest of your days. learning lessons that only living itself can teach you. I urge you today to live an almighty life, daily recreating yourselves to grow more closely to the version of yourself you wish and deserve to be, not in spite of fear, but hand in hand with fear. Today, I challenge you to forever embrace your time as students so that you may forever remember that you, alive, are to be held accountable for what you have learned here. And what will you share once you leave this institution of learning? Share how you took classes that challenged your preconceived notions and helped you expand your ways of thinking about the world. Teach others the song, the poem, the dance, the painting technique, the experiment or social theory that meant the most to you. Apply what you learn in communities that need you without usurping those who have been leaders in those communities. Serve without trying to dominate. Give back with the same energy your teachers and peers gave you. Move with generosity into the next stage of your constantly evolving lives. Use fear as a springboard into better days. Take loss as an opportunity to add something unexpected and fulfilling to your lives. Choose caretaking in all its forms. Choose not just yourself, but each other. Someone else needs you. They could be a friend or a stranger, a colleague or an enemy soon to be revised into friend. Stand up in your power. I am waiting for you. I have been waiting for you my entire life. Thank you.
Thank you, Philip. Members of the faculty, I present to you these students who have fulfilled all requirements for graduation and are recommended for the award of the Master of Fine Arts and the Bachelor of Arts degree. Do you nominate these candidates to the trustees for these purposes? If so, please signify your approval by clapping. Mr. Chairman, I present for the consideration of the trustees the students you have heard formally nominated by the faculty for the Master of Fine Arts and the Bachelor of Arts degrees.
Members of the Bennington College Board of Trustees, by charter, the power of conferring all degrees, diplomas, and honors from this institution is placed in your hands. You have witnessed the nomination of the faculty. Please signify your approval by clapping. Members of the graduating class, the trustees of the nomination of the faculty are proud to award you the Master of Fine Arts and Bachelor of Arts degrees, with all the rights and privileges pertaining to those degrees here or elsewhere.
With this formal recognition of academic accomplishments, these graduates join the company of those from this college and all other colleges and universities who have been admitted to the special opportunities and obligations which the Master of Fine Arts and the Bachelor of Arts degrees imply. We are very happy to present them to you now.
Hillary Clark,
Russell Lilly,
Aaron Landsman, Caroline Woolard,
Harrison Alterman,
Juan
Jasmine Anderson,
Stanzin Angmo,
Luciana Arbuscandifio,
Timothy Michael Atkinson,
Alea Austin,
Angela Ryan Baltor,
Aiden Barger,
Talia Barron,
Natalie Bates, congratulations.
Micah Bumrin Daniels,
Paul Birtwistle,
Lucy Blue,
Vivan the Goose Goes Mine. Congratulations.
Gaston Brackett.
Alex Briseno.
Kelsey Rodfield.
Lily Fiona Becker Brown.
Zachary Bull.
Sarah Burry.
Yekaterina Bertsiva.
Emma Bushman.
The marvelous Maeve Bastel.
Evan Gray Caldwell.
Tyler Carrillo Wagner.
Sierra Rose Casano.
Emma Castle.
Samrawit Dominique Cavallero.
Jillian Falls Cone.
Red Contarino.
Jakob Churcha.
Anya Diemchenko.
Z. Winters Dervianic. Marem Dieng.
Leanna Dudley Holland.
Antoine Dumas.
Keely Rose Durkin.
Tuva Elizabeth Bjerkestrand Eid.
Joseph Elmhurst.
Francis Lee Erlandson.
Lily Espinola.
Tyler Joseph Esparza.
Kale Esposito.
Sarah Fadden.
Jane Feinsod.
Elizabeth Rose Fox.
Michelle Freeman.
Olivia Garrity.
Musa Ghaznavi.
William David Giambalvo. Eloise Gibbon.
Komal Gumani.
Emily Gordis.
Sebastian Greer. Bennett Grossman.
Henrietta Hadley.
Deja Nicole Haley.
Emily Halliburton.
Grant Harlow.
Austin Hartwell.
Nare Haratunia.
Pan Seat Hine.
Stephen Hendricks.
Nick Hennessy.
Melissa Hernandez.
Katie Hibner.
Willem Hillard.
Emily Lynette Hinojosa.
Narcissa Hoji.
Angelina Hoffman.
Peter von Conta Howard.
Dre James.
Maria Laura Joa Dominguez.
Mark Camel.
Ioana Katsara.
Caroline Clement Kaufman.
Aaron Keating.
Gwyneth Kenrick.
Audrey King.
Miranda Kinsley.
Kaya Page Kirk.
Sonia Jane Kisson.
Fiona Kobath.
Elise Marie Colasi.
Sabrina Connick.
John Kornfeld.
Sebastian Lamontagne.
Bart Lawson.
Honor Levy.
Kaya Lewis Marlowe. Imani Lewis Shirley. Ulysses Lynn.
Elsa Lindy.
Nora Little.
Jenna Litton.
Casey Lore.
J. Lopez Guevara.
Marta Elise Lunder.
Claire Mesita.
Sophia Ray Malmoli.
Matthias Mann.
Sona Marcosian.
Sophia E. Marks.
James McBride.
Eve Mefford.
Max Meisler.
Gala Mea Marti.
Rebecca Mitzner.
Benjamin Mohammadzadeh.
Shachi Mokashi.
Domenica Montano.
Maria Morelos Rhodes.
Allie Morgan.
Jenny Morgan.
Ethan Mueller.
James Mulligan.
Henry Munson.
Amrita Lee Newton.
Can Ha Nguyen.
Kim Nguyen. Wen Huang Lin.
Kayla Nichols.
Sophia Faye Noble.
Alexandra Nordyke.
Skylar Norton.
Emily Mescal O'Donnell.
Amina Odzachik.
Kaden Ozu Oguri.
Ivan Orozco.
Maria Jose Orozco Santos.
Christina Sienna Polanen.
Madeline Podlich.
Arden Rustrick.
Ella Kerr Richardson.
Thomas Peter Richardson IV.
Grace Robin Somerville.
Olivia Rosenberg.
Edie Salas Miller.
Iris Joy Salin.
Olivia Saporito.
Rachia Sargsyan.
Otto Schatz.
Eulela Grace Harden Shiu.
Martin Lewers Schaefer.
Justin Shea.
Holly Ray Scherer.
Zubair Ibrahim Siddiqui.
Ariana Sears-Vitowski.
Ines Simbi.
Chase Spearance.
Fiona Caton Field Spiegler.
Ivy Stewart.
Christian Swenson.
Alexander Turjak Wall.
William Tapstra.
Gil Thomas.
Wendy Ulloa.
Carmela Uribe.
River Valadez.
Paulina Lisette Valdivieso Reyes.
Valentine Rosin.
Bailey Wait.
Tristan Walker.
James Leo Walker Gutall.
Bella Yanwen Wang.
Claire Webb.
Lila Weiser.
Marion Dowley West.
Jaden White. Nicholas Williams.
Willem Winter.
Cy Wolf.
Rachel Yanku.
Ahmad Yasir.
Margaret Fortuna Yaski.
Eli Zelter.
Lin Rong Zhang.
In the name of all assembled here virtually, trustees, faculty, staff, fellow students, families, and friends, I want to congratulate the class of 2020. I wish you health and peace in the coming months, success in your next endeavors, and we can't wait to see you in person on campus next spring to celebrate together.
Some silence to my brain. A little less remedy the pain of stained grains of glass embedded in my ass cheeks. For the past week I've been trying to take it slow, enough to break off time, enough to retire, peace of my mind. take some silence tonight. My brain a little bliss to remedy the pain. The pain is distinct grains of glass embedded in my eyes. For the past week I've been trying to cover up piece of my mind. Those captious eyes in my past week I've those capsizing eyes. Those capsizing eyes. Those capsizing eyes. Those capsizing eyes. Those capsizing.
As you can stand.
όλο δική μου, για τα φύλαστρο μου διαβή μου. Ζήλιαντες δεν θα το μπορούσαν, όπως εγώ να σ' αγαπούσαν. Μέσα στα μάτια σου γλυκές, τα ανάβουν οι φωτιές, τα ανάβουν οι φωτιές. Μέσα στα μάτια σου γλυκές, μέσα στα μάτια σου γλυκές, τα ανάβουν οι φωτιές. Σου σαν μήμα πάνω, μια δεν φοβάμαι να πεθάνω. Στα γέλια σου σαν είμαι μέσα, τότε όλα λέσα. Χωρίς καράβι και πανιά, άι ταξιδεύω τον δουνιά, άι ταξιδεύω τον δουνιά. Χωρίς καράβι και πανιά, χωρίς καράβι και πανιά, άι ταξιδεύω τον δουνιά. Τον ήλιο στα μαλλιά σου και το φεγγάρι στην ποδιά σου, και ένα σύσι και εκεί στα στήθια που σου λέει παραμύθια. Απ' τα δικά σου τα φιλιά μάθαν τραγούδι τα πουλιά, μάθαν τραγούδι